YouTube? Antics here with the swole on, the fro on, and if you need the explainer, I am the Alpha Tamer, but I done already told y'all, it is not about me right now. It is about this person right in front of me. Will you please introduce yourself?
My name is Maissa. I am MaiTelevision Online, and I top 8'd with my main man, Jesmon, today.
Jesmon? Okay, yeah. No, I have to see this deck list. Let's get into it.
Alright. So we're gonna do this quick and dirty because I think y'all have seen Jesmon lists before. Alright? So we're gonna start off with Sukudomon here. 4 of it gains you a memory if you have a level 7. It's very simple. Now, we're gonna get into the ratios for the level 3s all the way up because they were tight, right? We're gonna start off 4 of the BT13 Huckmon. It is the main guy we want in our stack, and 4 of the GOAT from BT6. It's still insane that he looks in 5 cards and grabs 2 of any of the line, right? So we're gonna grab those. Next, we do 4 of the BT13 Bao Huckmon. It's very self-explanatory. He's the main guy you want in your stack, but sometimes you're not going to get the cards you want, so we got 2 of the OG BT6 Bao Huckmon, because sometimes you just need a level 4, right? So moving on from there, the main man who got unlimited, our savior in this Digimon card game, we have Bao Huckmon, Bao, right? I got 2 of the champion finals one and 2 of the regular ones because I earned these ones. They're going to be in the deck list. I wanted it to be just these 4. However, I can't be too insane. So we're doing 1 of the BT13 one. Don't mind that it's not pre-release, all right? I changed the deck list the night before. We needed 5 of them. I just needed to have a level 5 because sometimes you just don't find this guy when 3 of these are checked in security and you're not so hot on finding a 4th one. You need the last one, all right? Going into the top ratio. So just remember we had 8, 6, 5, and now for our Megas, we've got 3 Jess X. Swinging unsuspended bodies this format is huge because I know decks like Mother Shoutout and Demon Lords don't like to be battled, and there's a lot of other decks just randomly that don't expect to be battled into, and Partition in general for like Imperial and stuff like that doesn't go off if you battle it. So this is our main card. It's the one that evolves for 3. It's our cheapest one to go into our level 6. So that's my main guy that I want to have in hand. Now we're gonna keep this guy around. Genku X. I had to run 2 of them because bounce and DP reduction is all over the place. You think about Ancient Guru, you think about Imperial, you think about Angels, which I played last time. We're not going to talk about it. What else? Mirage. There's a lot of it going around, and this guy locks a lot of those decks out, or at least enough for you to get your strong card out, right? Lastly, we got 2 of the GOAT, Magnamon X Antibody, alright? I know a lot of y'all don't like this card. A lot of y'all were crying about this card. I don't care. It made my Jesmon GX stack strong, and tucking it into your stack, one of the things it says is if Magnamon X Antibody is in your cards, then you get its effect, which is huge because when I'm tucking it, it's going to go into the stack already and give its effect, and we want it to be able to be immune from any effect on our opponent's board. And this comes in handy a lot in the Imperial matchup and a lot of matchups where DP reduction and bounce protection wasn't enough. Basically, any green matchup that's going to suspend my blocker, I want this. Or it's just going to destroy my body and I don't have any kind of decoy, I want this card. So that was pretty dope. Sometimes you can swing unsuspend twice and then use this guy when you go into GX to unsuspend 1 more time to get a couple of more checks, or just go for game. It's just a super flexible card. Alright, now I think this is pretty standard. People were asking me about how many GX I was running. I'm running 3. You don't want more than 3. This guy's a big 15k guy in security, but everybody has jamming these days. So you just want one of these. Usually if you're going into more than one GX, I don't know what you're really doing. You're doing too much. You just want one of these guys, and most of your deck searches this. So I'm running 3 GX. It's very beautiful. They're all alt art. This is my favorite deck, and I will buy any alt art that works with the deck within a heartbeat. But low-key, I only own 3. Anyway. Oh my goodness. So we're actually gonna go back a little bit. I did not show off any of the Sistermon ratios that I had. I don't really like putting them in the ratios because they're not level 3s that can evo. So first, you know what? I'm gonna give you the one first. We got one Sistermon Blanc, right? One Sistermon Blanc. Sometimes you want blocker, and sometimes it's useful. There are so many ways to get this thing off the board so that you lose the blocker effect. So I only have one for the off chance that I need the blocker, and sometimes early blocker is pretty good. I wanted 2 of them in my list, but there's just never any room. The list, the ratio is already super tight. Then we have 2 Sistermon Blanc. The one that when you trash one, you trash a card in your hand, draw 2. Jesmon needs to draw a lot. The thing about Jesmon, people used to say, when people brick these days, if they were playing in the time that Jesmon was popular, they say this deck is bricking like Jesmon, or it's building a brick house like Jesmon. Anytime a deck is bricky or it isn't getting its cards, they refer to Jesmon. So this is good for free draws because sometimes cards like this and this, they're not red, and I can't draw them, and I can't grab them with the OG Huckmon because he doesn't grab Royal Knights. So sometimes that's the best way, and it has decoy. Jesmon gets popped super easily, and I don't like it. Anyway, moving on. We're actually heavier on the CL ratios, so I'm gonna start off with the OG. Sistermon CL from BT6. The DP gain you get from this is insane, and when you play it by effect, you're gonna gain a memory. The memory gain you get from this card plus the DP, it's low-key the best one in the deck. I'll jump ahead a little bit. We have the one from BT10 here. That one is good for climbing in certain matchups. Sometimes you're gonna pass memory, but you want to get into your GX, which is the only card that can blitz. This one's important. I still think this one's the best one. I would run 3 of this if I had more space, but y'all saw my ratios. I was cutting like crazy. Lastly, we got one Sistermon CL from the starter deck. This one gives you reboot and inserts top 3 for Royal Knights and Huckmons. I don't like that this doesn't grab sisters, but I love that it gives you reboot because sometimes you're going to go into your big GX stack and you're going to want to unsuspend to have that one big blocker that can't be affected by anything. So I'm running it at 1 because I'm not gonna lie, these facilitate your game plan. This one is kind of like my game plan wasn't going off. I need to find a card, or this is how you end your turn. I would run more if I had space. Anyway, let's get into the options. So I'll start off with the most obvious one for the Jesmon fans. From Master to Disciple, right? This is the best searcher card you have in the deck. It's 2 costs to search top 3 and then get almost anything that you want in this deck. It's insane. It basically is like training, but it doesn't make you Digivolve, which is so much better against matchups like Imperial. Period, end of sentence. That's really the one. I don't like having to go against that dragon mode. That's the reason why, spoiler alert, we're not running any trainings in this list. I think the key word for this deck profile is going to be insane because honestly, I think only a madman could run the ratios I'm doing. We got 2 of Fireball. Fireball, if it doesn't delete something, it's going to draw 2. Now, drawing 2, crazy. I already talked about Blanc and how much you need to draw cards that are not within archetype. But then being able to delete a 3K is actually huge. There are certain decks, there's floodgates like Gotsumon or the equivalents that will stop your deck, and this can just take it out so you can do your big stack. And then sometimes you just want to clear a small board. People will flood the board early on while you're building your GX stack and overwhelm you before you can even create the stack you want. This helps you control that board if you really need to. And, you know, that draw is still pretty significant. Let's see, let's go for my 1-and-1s. I have 1 red memory boost just because we still need to search it quite a bit, and I don't want to run training because the Imperial matchup is tough enough as it is. I don't want to have to use training and then screw myself over. And then Crimson Blaze is just good into a lot of matchups. There's a lot of things playing by effect. There's a lot of wide boards that you want to deal with. And Jesmon really can only deal with 1 to 2 bodies if you keep turn. Maybe 3 if you're lucky. But if you're hitting 3 bodies, you're probably winning the game already. So the Crimson Blaze is just nice to slow people down. The red memory boost is to get you a little bit more consistency and memory. But when we're referring to memory, I could have run more memory boosts, but sometimes I don't want them to see the memory coming. So we're running 2 Gravity Crush, right? Gravity Crush, one of the best cards in the game, and I know some of y'all probably don't even want it out there.
Hey, that's the best red card in the game. I don't care.
I love this card. Sometimes I use it just to, like, if I'm at 1, Gravity Crush, search, grab a piece, Evo in the back, maybe give them a little bit of memory, but I got to Evo and search in the same turn. But a lot of times I use this to extend to make sure I can do my GX play all in 1 turn and OTK my opponent. I don't know if there's any other applications. It's just a great extender, and I know when people see a bunch of memory boosts on the board, they start counting and seeing how much I can do. I want them to not to know how much I can do. I want their plans not to consist of what I got going on. So lastly, where did I put the option? Oh, it's right here. Lastly, this is the change that I made the most recently, and it's 3 Seiken Meppa. Now, Seiken Meppa is an interesting option because when this card first came out, I thought it was busted, broken, and then when I tried to play it, it just felt cute. However, nowadays, with all the cards we have access to, this is basically our finisher card. You use the Seiken Meppa card to basically activate Jesmon GX's... Where is Jesmon GX? Jesmon GX's when Digivolving effect, which we're not even going to get into like all that it does. At the end, it says then Blitz. So it doesn't really matter. You clear the security. If you still have memory on your turn, you use this card, do whatever you want. He's gonna unsuspend, and then you're just gonna blitz for game. That's what it's really in there for. And I'm running 3 mainly because I wanted to see it and have it in hand all the time. Because there's so many times where you have a GX on board, suspended, all their security's gone, but you have nothing else to do. And you give it to the opponent, and they just, boom, clean you up. So having this Seiken Meppa here in my hand, which I had it in my hand a lot in some bricky turns, but I think it was more worth it than not during my run.
All right, my man, go ahead and tell us what you played against today.
All right, we're gonna keep it simple. I have it here on my phone. It took me a while to remember all of it. Just to keep it simple, I faced 3 Imperial. I faced Mirage, Demon Lord, Shine, and round 1 Savagamon. I don't really know what happened there. I won it, but let's not worry about it. But Shine and Demon Lords, I want to talk about those a little bit because Shine's a matchup that can really outpace this deck, but that's where Genkumon came in quite a bit, kind of like protecting the board from all the DP reduction. And Demon Lords is a deck that I actually picked this deck because the Demon Lords matchup had been good in the past, and Batman in the back, I don't know if you can really see him. I played against him a lot, and that deck doesn't like being battled into, and I almost lost that matchup, but that matchup was a tough one for me. But the battle really does a lot, and the security pressure that Jesmon GX gives is really good for that matchup because Lucamon Chaos Mode is just so annoying to deal with if you let it live on the field for too long. Most times you just want to ignore it with this deck. You just get up there, you have all your stuff, and then you just go for face, right? The Imperial matchups, I won't lie, 2 out of those 3 matchups I lost, but they were the ones who got like above me in top 8. So it was just good breakers, and it's a winnable matchup. I never had to worry about the ace, just because of Genkumon, and sometimes you just get more Digivolution cards to them. So I just want to wrap up some of the other ones. Takemi Kazuchi and Mirage. I can't say that much about those matchups. Takemi Kazuchi is like in analog for this deck. It's one of the level 7 OTK style decks, and it was just a race to who gets it, and I was the one who won that race. There's some some of the cards in my deck do help against that, like Genkumon stops all the DP reduction, and you can set up enough blockers that they can't go for game, and you will keep your body on board, so that was pretty good. And Mirage is a matchup of who is gonna get to the top first. It's another, yeah, level 7 OTK. So level 7 OTK decks are good apparently, and sometimes you just gotta race them. So I can't say too much about them. You just know from what I've said, there are natural buffs that this deck gets against those ones, but it's still a race to the top.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, before I ask you about any shout outs, I'd just like to, you know, take the opportunity myself to congratulate you. I think like showing the resiliency that you've had to take your favorite Digimon, make a deck with it. You said, hey, I didn't have the results I wanted at Bandai Card Fest. I'm gonna just come right back and do it again. And like to go from not really placing at Bandai Card Fest to come back here in top 8 in your hometown. Like a home win feels good with your boy, feels good. Like congratulations to you. Will you please tell us if you have any shout outs?
All right, we're gonna try to keep this short and sweet, but I've been yapping for a long time. So I want to say shout out to I'm gonna say my girlfriend first. Shout out to her for holding it down, and I know that the incessant testing and whatnot can get on her nerves a little bit, but I really appreciate her for, you know, giving me that time. Shout out to I wanted to wait, but NFD, you know, we test like crazy. Like crazy.
Especially these last 2 weeks.
Ooh. And like without them, I don't think I'd be where I am now, because I was kind of off the testing train. I have other things that I do. I stream on Twitch, MaiTelevision, at Twitch and YouTube. Yeah. I have family obligations. I have girlfriend obligations. I have just a lot of things that I do. I'm traveling soon, and I wasn't really feeling the testing, but you know, this man back here, Domino, he's also editing the video. He was really getting us together boot camp style to train for this. I never imagined that this would even happen like this. You know, I was here to have a fun time with my favorite deck, and top 8, and I got this freaking Omni. I never thought I'd have one of these, so I just want to say shout out to NFD.
You could do it. We knew you could do it.
And thank you for believing in me.
Yes, sir.
So shout out NFD, shout out my girlfriend, shout out my family, shout out God up above. I was praying before every round. Yeah, not really short and sweet, but it is sweet.
All right. Ooh, no, that's a bar. Okay, well, once again, congratulations to you on your finish. Very impressive to be top 8 with Jesmon. I think that's the first one we've seen in a very long time, so congratulations again. YouTube, that was the deck profile. Antics here with the swole on, the fro on. I already gave you the explainer, but I'm going to give it to you one more time. I am the Alpha Tamer. Peace.